Hello there and welcome once again to another Christmas movie review as part of my 31 Days of Christmas. Today I'm going to be reviewing Christmas with the KRANKS. Yep. But before I get into that, I'm joined by a very special guest, good friend of mine on YouTube, CP. If you know my channel, you know that he is on here quite often. Anyway, he's on here to talk about one of his favourite Christmas films. So CP, over to you.
Hello one, hello all, this is CP from Will I Like It Reviews, and I am here to talk about my favorite Christmas movie. As some of you probably will or will not have guessed, mine is a little off the grid, so to speak, off the board, a little distasteful, but my favorite film to watch during Christmas is The Ref. Perhaps some of you don't know what this thing is in my hand, but this is a DVD. The only reason I have this on DVD is because they don't have it on Blu-ray yet. Tragically. The Ref is directed by Ted Demme. Some of you may recognize Ted Demme's name from Blow. For the most part, he did a lot of slice of life type movies. Beautiful Girls comes to mind. He was attached at the hip with Denis Leary for a lot of his MTV commercials and Denis Leary's 1 hour special that I think, No Cure for Cancer, I think that aired on MTV as well. So Ted Demme was very hip to the MTV crowd in the 90s, and The Ref is something that, certainly not something that you would call traditional. It's about Denis Leary's character who is a robber who robs a relatively rich man's house of jewels and things like that. And things go awry and he and his partner split due to an alarm going off, and Denis Leary's character is left on Christmas Eve trying to figure out a way out of this rich Connecticut town. And what he does is hijack this married couple who's, to say that they're going through some difficult periods during this season is quite an understatement. It's not exactly a Christmas movie that will get everybody in the cheer, but if you have a dysfunctional family, it certainly smells like something you're used to. Any of you who are fans of Kevin Spacey and or his performance in American Beauty, you really get a test run with his performance here. I cannot suggest The Ref enough for multiple reasons. Perhaps it's a little personal, but if enough people start looking into and buying this movie, maybe they'll finally make it on Blu-ray and then I can have my Blu-ray copy. Thank you, Brian, for having me. Have a day.
Thank you for that, CP. That was a film that I have actually never heard of until he sent me that bit of video footage. And I was very surprised at just how many correlations there seemed to be with Lester Burnham, another Kevin Spacey character from American Beauty. So yeah, I definitely need to check that one out. But anyway, I'm here today to review Christmas with the KRANKS. I wish I wasn't, but I am. This film is directed by Joe Roth, who I can't honestly say has done anything of particular note as far as his directing credits are concerned. He's produced a lot of films, some of them quite noteworthy, I guess, but most not really up my alley. This film is based on a novel, bizarrely. I wouldn't have thought it, but it's been adapted by Chris Columbus. Yes, that's right, the man who directed Home Alone and Home Alone 2. I guess he felt like he needed to continue that Christmas movie streak. Again, I wish he hadn't. This film is terrible. The thing is, when I started watching it, I was watching it with my wife, and we had to turn it off about 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. Because something came up, we had to go and to do it. But we were actually quite enjoying it at the time. It seemed like it was going somewhere fun. It'd just be a film about these people who are just trying to avoid Christmas and everyone's trying to force it on them. But yeah, we came back to it later in the day and watched the rest, and it just took a nosedive, complete nosedive. Because it just gets wackier and wackier, or at least it thinks it's being wacky. It thinks it's being this kind of wacky comedy that we can all just really laugh at and find funny, and it's just not funny. None of the situations that the characters get into are believable. I don't believe for a second that that this street would really be that much into these guys celebrating Christmas that they would essentially bully them into doing so. And yeah, just the whole setup just feels so forced. The jokes all feel so forced. It gets really slapstick. It's not funny. I will give it a few moments where actually I did laugh, but for a comedy movie, yeah, it just doesn't really register with me. And the wackier it gets, the further it gets into the film, the less I enjoy it. Like I say, I start not up there, but like at least reasonably high, and it just drifts off, dovetails, and then by the time I get to the end, I just want to get out of there. Yeah, this is not a fun film. The chemistry between Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis is okay, I guess, but it's certainly not enough to carry it through. And Dan Aykroyd, his presence here is not enough to lift it. He's taken supporting roles in films before, like Grosse Pointe Blank, where he's been amazing. You inject a bit of life into that film by just having Dan Aykroyd there. Not that Grosse Pointe Blank needed life injecting into it, because it's a fantastic film, but he can do that. He can do something with a minor role. He's not able to here because it's just not a very good film. The material isn't there. So yeah, not a good Christmas film. I feel like I've been on a bit of a downer on a lot of Christmas films lately. I feel like, yeah, I think it's time to get onto some good ones soon. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. Didn't enjoy it at all, as you can tell from my review. Anyway, if you've seen this film, please comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And until tomorrow, thanks for watching.